Day 26. Magically transform mistakes into blessings. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Oprah Winfrey, 1954. Media personality and businesswoman. Every single mistake is a blessing in disguise. Today's magical practice will prove it because you're about to discover that there are actually untold blessings hidden within every mistake. A child makes many mistakes while learning how to ride a bike or write. And we don't give it a second thought because we know that through their mistakes they will learn and eventually master what they are trying to do. So, why is it that adults are so hard on themselves when they make a mistake? How true. So, why is it that adults are so hard on themselves when they make a mistake? The same rule that applies to children also applies to you. We all make mistakes, and if we didn't make them, we'd never learn anything, and we wouldn't grow any smarter or any wiser. We have the freedom to make our own choices, and that means we have the freedom to make mistakes. Mistakes can hurt, but if we don't learn from the mistake we've made, the pain we've suffered from it has been for nothing. If we don't learn from the mistake we've made, the pain we've suffered from it has been for nothing. In fact, by the law of attraction, we will make the same mistake over and over again until the consequences hurt us so much that we finally learn from it. It's the very reason why mistakes hurt, so that we do learn from them and don't make them repeatedly. To learn from a mistake, we first have to own it. Own it means admit that, yes, I made a mistake. Own your mistake. And this is where many people can become undone because they often blame someone else for their mistake. Let's consider the scenario of being pulled over by the police for speeding and being given a speeding ticket. Instead of taking responsibility for the fact that we were speeding, we blame the police because they were hiding in the bushes on the highway around a bend. So we couldn't see them. They had a radar gun, and so we didn't take a chance. We didn't stand a chance. But the mistake was ours because we were the one who chose to speed. The problem with blaming other people for our mistake, which we are all the time doing, right? All the time. The problem with blaming other people for our mistake is that when we will still suffer the pain and consequences of our mistake, but we didn't learn from it, and so bingo, we'll attract making the same mistake again. Again, I paused at the wrong spot, so I'm reading it again, okay? The problem with blaming other people for our mistake is that when we will still suffer the pain and consequences of our mistake. The problem with blaming other people for our mistake is that we will still suffer the pain and consequences of our mistake. But we didn't learn from it, and so bingo, we'll attract making the same mistake again. Now it makes sense. You are human. You will make mistakes. And it's one of the most beautiful things about being human. But you must learn from your mistakes. Otherwise, your life will have a lot of unnecessary pain. How do you learn from a mistake? Gratitude. No matter how bad something may seem, There are always many things to be grateful for. When you look for as many things as you can to be grateful for in a mistake, you mistakenly transform the mistake into blessings. My God. Mistakes attract more mistakes, and blessings attract more blessings. Which would you prefer? Again, no matter how bad something may seem, there are always many things to be grateful for. When you look for as many things as you can to be grateful for in a mistake, you magically transform the mistake into blessings. Mistakes attract more mistakes, and blessings attract more blessings. Which would you prefer? Today, think about a mistake you have made in your life. It doesn't matter whether it was a big or a small mistake, but choose one that still hurts when you think about it. Maybe you lost your temper with a person close to you, and the relationship hasn't been the same ever since. Maybe you put blind faith in another person and got burned. Maybe you told a white lie to protect someone, and because of it, you ended up in a difficult situation. You might have chosen the cheaper option on something, and it all went wrong and ended up costing you a whole lot more. You might have thought you were making the right decision about something, but it completely backfired on you. I have been through all these. How many of you feel you've been through all these? I know, same here. Today, think about a mistake you have made in your life. I think of many mistakes. Many. It doesn't matter whether it's a big or a small mistake. I'm currently thinking of my big mistakes. I don't know about you. But choose one that still hurts when you think about it. Maybe you lost your temper with a person close to you and the relationship hasn't been the same since. Maybe you put blind faith in another person and got burned. Maybe you told a white lie to protect someone and because of it you ended up in a difficult situation. You might have chosen the cheaper option on something and it all went wrong and ended up costing you a whole lot more. You might have thought you were making the right decision about something, but it completely backfired on you. Once you've chosen a mistake to magically transform into blessings, look for the things to be grateful for. To help you, there are two questions you can ask yourself. What did I learn from that mistake, from the mistake? What are the good things that came out of the mistake? The most important things to be grateful for about every mistake are the things you learned from it. And no matter what the mistake, there are always many good things that came out of it and altered your future for the better. Think this through very carefully and see if you can find a total of 10 blessings to be grateful for. Every blessing you find has magical power. Write out your list in a gratitude journal or type them on a computer. I always prefer to write it, don't type. Let's take the example of being caught speeding by a police car and receiving a fine. I'm grateful for the police for wanting to protect me from harming myself because, after all, that was all they were trying to do. I'm grateful for the police because if I'm honest with myself, I was thinking about other things and I wasn't concentrating on the road. I'm grateful for the police because it was foolish to put myself at risk speeding with a tire that needed to be replaced. I'm grateful to the police for the wake up call. Being pulled over did affect me and it will make me watch my speed and drive more carefully in future. I'm grateful to the police because somehow I had a wild idea that I could speed without getting caught and without putting myself in danger. The seriousness of the police made me face up to the fact that I was putting both myself and others in serious danger. I'm grateful to the police if I think about my own family being put in danger by other speeding drivers, then I definitely want the police to stop speeding drivers. I'm really grateful to the police for the work they did in trying to ensure the safety of every person and family on the roads. I'm grateful to the police. They must see heartbreaking situations every day, and all they are trying to do is protect my life and my family's life. I'm grateful to the police for making sure that I arrived home safely and walked through the door to my family as I usually do. I'm grateful to the police because of all the possible consequences that could have stopped me from by speeding the police pulling me over. I'm grateful to the police because of all the possible consequences that could have stopped me from my speeding. The police pulling me over was the least harmful consequence, and it could have been the biggest blessing of my life. I would strongly urge you to take any mistakes you've made in your life that you still feel bad about, and in your own time, follow this magnificent and magical practice. So Rhonda Byrne is suggesting to catch on to only one. Think about it. Through one mistake, you have the power to bring many blessings. What else guarantees dividends like that? Count your blessings. Make a list of 10 blessings. Write why you are grateful. Reread your list. And at the end of each blessing, say thank you, thank you, thank you. And feel as grateful for that blessing as you can. This is different from that writing 10 different things we learn from a mistake. Huh? This is different. What we just did, write 10 things that we learned from the mistake. Choose one mistake you made in your life. Find a total of 10 blessings you're grateful for as a result of making that mistake and write them down. To help you find blessings, you can ask yourself the question, what did I learn from the mistake? And what are the good things that come out of a mistake? Just before you go to sleep tonight, hold your magic rock in one hand and say the magic words, thank you for the best thing that happened during the day. She is saying complaining are the most dangerous. Most dangerous. It means you're inviting big trouble. Repeatedly, even up you up हिल जाओगे जब you will do you can heal your life. You will think really. Complaining is so it's acidic, it's arsenic. She's arsenic. If we are in a pit and we are still not coming out of it in spite of a million gratitudes for 3.5, 4 decades, or 3.5, 4 months, or 3.5, 4 weeks, it is only because of complaining and nothing else. We're complaining because we found something not okay, right? Thank you all. Thank you.